Prairie Paws Animal Shelter has been serving animals in our community for 70 years. This year alone, nearly 1,500 homeless, lost, and abandoned animals will enter through our doors. These abandoned furry friends will receive the much-needed food, shelter, medical attention, enrichment, and the TLC needed to find their forever homes. We are dedicated to providing compassionate care to animals in need. Did you know 1,500 animals will enter our doors in 2018? 1,200 will find their forever home. Over 200 animals will be returned to their owners after being scared and lost. We will provide over 30,000 days of care and over 60,000 meals to homeless pets. We will provide over 350 humane education presentations on topics such as bite prevention and responsible pet ownership. Over 400 dedicated volunteers will spend over 9,000 hours being a voice for animals. Since 2014, we've been able to reduce our length of stay for dogs from 60 days to 20 days, and for cats from 85 days to 21 days. We are thrilled to report a 98% live release rate. All of these amazing statistics would not be possible without the generous support of individuals like you. Your support means a brighter future for the homeless animals in our community.
Hello! My name is Freckles. I'm the Chief Feline Officer at Prairie Paws Animal Shelter. I'd like you to sit back and learn about the impact Prairie Paws has had on this awesome community. Enjoy!
I think it's important to remember that this is not a quick fix. A lot of times it can take survivors months to find the housing that is safe to get their animal back with them. So the cost of, medicine for the animal, the cost of food that Prairie Paws takes on, and it costs the survivor absolutely nothing for Prairie Paws to house their animal. Kansas is the 7th highest in the United States for domestic violence murders, where the man is the perpetrator and the woman is the victim. So Prairie Paws, they are helping eliminate domestic violence in our community by being able to do this. And to have this partnership, if that partnership didn't exist, the survivor would feel like they had to stay in the home because they had no place for their animal to go. So the survivor stays, the survivor continues to be abused by the abuser, and the animal continues to be abused. It could turn lethal and eventually end in homicide for the survivor, and the animal could also be killed in this process. So for Prairie Paws to have this partnership with the Willow, we are working on eliminating domestic violence and animal abuse in our community.
When you walk in to see the animals, what happens?
Oh, when I walk into the cat room, the cats like jump on me and all that.
Why do they do that?
Because they like me.
They do?
Yes.
Are you glad that they like you?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the funniest thing that ever happened?
Oh, the funniest thing that ever happened was a dog licked me.
It did?
Yep.
Did you like it?
A little bit.
A little bit. How do you feel about the animals here? Do you love them?
I love them a lot. I love the cats most.
Yeah.
I started out moving into a home, had no cats, and then I have one cat that appeared and she multiplied. I have 7 cats now that Tim had went and had them neutered for me and spayed, and it's just great now because they're all healthy, they're fat, they look good, and we really enjoy them. We know they're there, they know what time to come eat, they're there like 5 o'clock every night ready to eat, and I don't have to worry about no more sick babies. It's hard, especially when you're on a limited budget like I am. I'm on Social Security, so it's hard, and this has been a great help. I have 4 dogs in my house, and one's a diabetic, so it's really hard on me to make sure she's got the right food, and then my other dogs have food too. So my other dogs basically eat what I can get from Tim and you guys here at Prairie Paws, and then I have to get her special food to make sure she eats so I can give her insulin. So it's hard on a budget, and a lot of times me and my husband will split our food with the animals if we're out.
So out of all of the dogs we have, I have a different bond with all of them, but for some reason when I met her, I knew, you know, it was a special bond. So her and I are basically best buddies, even though she still is not perfect by no means, but neither am I. So she came leaps and bounds, but it's just one of those things that when you come home at the end of the day, you can have the worst day in the world, and when you get meted by a excited dog that's smiling at you and wagging her tail and happy to see you, and you know, it sounds corny, but you know, I'm basically love this dog, or in love with this dog, whichever you want to call it. My thing is, a lot of people ask about volunteering, and everybody's like, I can't do that because I want to take them all home, I'll be sad. And I thought that in the beginning, but it's quite opposite. You feel more fulfilled instead of sad that you can't help them all. You know you're helping some opposed to doing nothing. So I would say that volunteering helps keep our sanity as well as the dogs.
One of the kittens we had named Captain Hook, and conveniently enough, it was actually a kitten that was brought to me by one of my families. I'm a teacher, and it was one of my students' parents know that I love cats, and they know that I'm really active in the shelter, and they worked for the trains, and they had found a injured kitten on one of their trains, and its foot had been pretty much, the paw was gone, and they weren't sure if they were going to be able to save the leg or not. So they were like, can you take it? We don't know what to do with it, and we would hate for it to die. And so of course I couldn't say no, so I took it in. And I took it to Cottonwood first, and they checked it out, and they're like, yeah, we're not quite sure if we're going to be able to save the foot or not, because of how amazing Prairie Paws is, and K-State too. They volunteered to do the amputation on the leg and take care of that. So we kept Captain throughout that whole healing process. It was awesome seeing that kitten go through all of that, us taking care of him, making sure that everything is healing okay, and everyone here, like if we had any questions, we were able to call and ask, and everyone was very supportive, and it was awesome watching him recover, and he made a full recovery. He was great, and we brought him back here. It's been great, especially that family in particular that did end up adopting him, because he was hard for us, because he was with us for a long time, because he wasn't big enough weight-wise. Then we had the whole issue with the paw, and then the amputation, so he was with us for 3-4 months. He was probably one of our longer ones that we took care of. So the longer they're in your house, the more they start feeling like a part of your family, so that makes it harder to bring them back. But we knew we had to. We knew that he would find someone good, and he really did. That family has been amazing. They'll send updates. They brought him here to Santa Paws to get his picture taken with him and his dog brother, sister, whatever it is. So that was really nice, because it shows that, you know, what we do really does make a difference, and that those animals, however long they're in our house, and they feel like ours, but when we give them back, that they become someone else's, and someone else falls in love with them just as much or even more so than we did, and that's fantastic.
Some of us, I don't know the names hardly any of them because I'm such a loner, but I do stay out there with the animal lovers. Part of us discuss the animals and laugh over what this one did and that one did, and talk about how cute they are and how funny they are. We talk about the volunteers who are giving up their time to help animals and old people. And we're talking about what I just said about none of this together time we're having right now would be here if Prairie Paws hadn't kicked the ball off in the first place. Because, but I always feel better for it. Some of the people just go back to their room, and some of them don't even reach out to pet the animals, but you can tell even those people are enjoying the animals because there's a smile on their face, you know. Last time you guys were out there, had a little 2-month-old bitch, and oh, she was so friendly. And I was holding her, and she was looking at me with that beautiful face. And I thought, you know, Prairie Paws saves you from death and from being abused, and you've got a warm place to sleep, and you've got a diet now, and if your luck runs good for you, you'll get a forever home. And you are now, again, through the efforts of Prairie Paws, you're passing this on, playing it forward, and making, I don't live an ideal life anymore either because I can't live in my home, but you make my life a little better every time I see you. That's what I feel every time they come. I wish you could bring cats. I'm an old bike rider and a steel worker, all these things that you're supposed to be macho, but I love cats.